भारतीय पुलिस सेवा के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों की 67वीं दीक्षांत परेड किले की दीवार के पीछे मैदान में प्रवेश करने के लिए तैयार है। देवियों और सज्जनों, आज की इस परेड का अपना एक अलग महत्व है, अपनी एक गरिमा है। इसलिए आप सबसे हमारा अनुरोध है कि कृपया अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन स्विच ऑफ कर दें अथवा साइलेंट मोड में कर लें।
The 148 IPS officer trainees of the 67 RR basic course are just about to begin their passing out parade from the main gate of the fort wall. Ladies and gentlemen, now I draw your attention to the brass plaques fixed on both the turrets of the main gate of the fort wall. The names of all those officers who have successfully completed their training at this prestigious academy are inscribed on these plaques. The names of officers of this batch as well shall be etched on these plaques. You can also see the fort wall, the insignias of all the states and central police organizations. The respective flags of these formations can also be seen fluttering in the breeze over these insignias. From the left towards the gate of the fort wall, the first flag is of National Police Academy, followed by Jharkhand, BSF, ITBP, Nagaland, West Bengal, Chandigarh, Nepal, Goa, Tripura, Delhi, SPG, Sikkim, RPF, Jammu and Kashmir, CRPF, Kerala, CISF, SSB, NSG, Chandigarh, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Telangana State, Mizoram, Assam, and Arunachal Pradesh. The flag in the center of the fort wall gate is that of national flag. Towards the right end of the gate, the first flag is of IPS, followed by Puducherry, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Punjab, Rajasthan, Andaman and Nicobar, Manipur, Dadar Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, and Lakshadweep.
देवियों और सज्जनों, आज की दीक्षांत परेड के मुख्य अतिथि हैं भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजीत डोवाल।
Ladies and gentlemen, today's parade consists of 148 officer trainees of the Indian Police Service, including 28 lady officers, 6 officers of Royal Bhutan Police, 4 officers from Maldives Police, and 5 officers from Nepal Police. There are 6 foot platoons and 1 mounted platoon of IPS officer trainees.
आज की इस दीक्षांत परेड में 148 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी भाग ले रहे हैं, जिसमें 28 महिला अधिकारी, 6 रॉयल भूटान पुलिस के अधिकारी, 4 मालदीव पुलिस के अधिकारी तथा 5 नेपाल पुलिस के अधिकारी शामिल हैं।
वो पेड़ से पीछे चला जाएगी, पेड़ से पीछे मतलब उसमें नहीं आना चाहिए, पेड़ से पीछे चला तो रमेश ने पीछे ही रहना सही पे हैं, या नहीं रहना? रमेश चंद सब ठीक है? तो हमारी ऐसा ही उधर है, इधर लगा दे क्या? रजनी? हाँ हाँ बुला लो तो काम हो गया। रजनी मैम, सुप्रजा मैम, सुप्रजा मैम।
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade will enter into the parade ground with a bugle call in a short while.
जैसा कि दर्शकगण देख सकते हैं, किले के द्वार खुल चुके हैं। अब बिगुल बजाकर परेड को मैदान में प्रवेश करने का संकेत देंगे। भारतीय पुलिस सेवा के 67वें बैच के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों से सुसज्जित भव्य परेड किले के द्वार से मैदान में प्रवेश करती हुई। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाकर परेड का उत्साहवर्धन करें। देवियों और सज्जनों, आज के इस दीक्षांत परेड में कुल 148 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी भाग ले रहे हैं। इसमें 28 महिला अधिकारी, 6 रॉयल भूटान पुलिस के अधिकारी, 4 मालदीव पुलिस के अधिकारी तथा 5 नेपाल पुलिस के अधिकारी शामिल हैं। कुछ ही क्षणों में परेड मैदान में निशान का आगमन होगा। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि निशान के परेड मैदान में प्रवेश करते ही निशान के सम्मान में अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं तथा सभी वर्दीधारी सैल्यूट करें।
prestigious Nishan Toli is commanded by Inspector Mahesh Kumar Nitharwal, and Nishan is being carried by Inspector T. Rajnikant Reddy. In a short while from now, our director, Ms. Aruna M. Bahuguna, will arrive. Our director, Ms. Aruna M. Bahuguna, is an IPS officer of 1979 batch, born on undivided Andhra Pradesh cadre, and currently allocated to the Telangana cadre. She served in Madnipalli as ASP and was SP of Visakhapatnam Rural, Vizianagaram Women Protection Cell, CID, Vijayawada. She served as AD, Intelligence Bureau in Hyderabad. Chief Intelligence Officer, Joint Commissioner of Police, Hyderabad City, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Intelligence, Inspector General Police, Police Computer Services and Human Rights Cell, ADGP Coordinator, DGP Special Protection Force, DGP State Disaster Response and Fire Service, ADGP Training and Special DG of CRPF. On 28 January 2014, she joined as the director of SVP National Police Academy, and she is the first woman director of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel National Police Academy. She was decorated with the Indian Police Medal for Meritorious Service in 1995 and President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service in 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru reviewed the POP of the 1957 batch of IPS officer trainees on 18th October 1958. He presented his own baton to the best all-round officer trainee of the batch while awarding him the revolver given by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Since then, Pandit Nehru's original baton is awarded each year as a rolling trophy to the best probationer in addition to the MHA's revolver. This year's winner of the Prime Minister's baton and Home Ministry's revolver is Dr. Parth Raj Singh Naval Singh Gohil of Gujarat cadre.
देवियों और सज्जनों, आज भारत के लौह पुरुष भारत रत्न सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल का जन्म दिवस है। 1875 में जन्मे सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल के नाम पर ही इस संस्थान का नाम सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल राष्ट्रीय पुलिस अकादमी पढ़ा। मुख्य अतिथि महोदय शहीद IPS अधिकारियों को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करने के लिए मार्टिर मेमोरियल पहुंच चुके हैं। कुछ ही क्षणों में अकादमी की निदेशक माननीय श्रीमती अरुणा M बहुगुणा यहाँ पधारेंगी।
Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of Academy, Ms. Aruna M. Bahuguna, has arrived and we extend a very warm welcome to her.
आज की दीक्षांत परेड के मुख्य अतिथि हैं भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजित डोवाल, कीर्ति चक्र। कुछ ही समय में माननीय मुख्य अतिथि महोदय हमारे बीच पधारेंगे तथा अकादमी की निदेशक आपको मंच तक एस्कॉर्ट करेंगी।
In a short while from now, the chief guest, Sri Ajit Kumar Dowal, Kirti Chakra, National Security Advisor, will arrive at the parade ground.
हमारा परम सौभाग्य है कि 67वें बैच के भारतीय पुलिस सेवा प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों की दीक्षांत परेड के अवसर पर भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार महोदय ने अकादमी का आमंत्रण स्वीकार किया।
Sri Ajit Dowal was born in Garhwal, Uttarakhand in 1945. He received his early education in Delhi and Ajmer and graduated with a master's degree in economics from the University of Agra in 1967, obtaining first position. Sri Ajit Dowal joined the Indian Police Service in 1968. After a short stint in his parent cadre Kerala, he joined the Intelligence Bureau. He held many senior positions both within and outside the country.
आज के मुख्य अतिथि भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजित डोवाल कीर्ति चक्र हमारे बीच पधार चुके हैं। हम सब की ओर से अकादमी परेड मैदान में आपका हार्दिक अभिनंदन।
Ladies and gentlemen, National Security Advisor Sri Ajit Dowal is among us, and we extend a very warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest Sri Ajit Dowal, Kirti Chakra.
परेड कमांडर परेड का निरीक्षण करने का अनुरोध करने हेतु मंच की ओर अग्रसर।
छह प्लेटून, एक माउंटेड सेक्शन और निशान परेड पर। दीक्षांत परेड आपके निरीक्षण के लिए हाजिर है श्रीमान।
श्री अजय डोवाल का जन्म वर्ष 1945 में गढ़वाल, उत्तराखंड में हुआ। आपकी प्रारंभिक शिक्षा दिल्ली और अजमेर में हुई। वर्ष 1967 में आपने आगरा विश्वविद्यालय से अर्थशास्त्र में स्नातकोत्तर की उपाधि प्राप्त की। 1968 में आप भारतीय पुलिस सेवा में भर्ती हुए। अपने मूल कैडर केरल में कार्यरत रहने के पश्चात 1972 में आप आसूचना ब्यूरो में भर्ती हुए। 1989 में आपको देश के सर्वोच्च रक्षा वीरता सम्मान कीर्ति चक्र से सम्मानित किया गया। आपकी विशिष्ट सेवाओं के लिए आपको पुलिस पदक से भी सम्मानित किया गया है। 30 मई 2014 से आप भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार के पद पर कार्यरत हैं।
Essentially an operations man, Sri Ajit Doval worked for long years in the field, including Northeast, Sikkim, Punjab, and Jammu and Kashmir. He played an important role in termination of insurgency in Mizoram and post-merger political transformation in Sikkim. After spending over 6 years in Pakistan, Sri Ajit Doval was assigned to the operations wing of the Intelligence Bureau. Subsequently, he was posted as a minister in the Indian High Commission in London.
दीक्षांत परेड का निरीक्षण करके मंच की ओर लौटते हुए आज के मुख्य अतिथि भारत के राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजित डोवाल कीर्ति चक्र। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि करतल ध्वनि से अतिथि महोदय का स्वागत करें। आपका आभार व्यक्त करते हुए हम पुनः मंच पर आपका हार्दिक अभिनंदन करते हैं।
परेड को शपथ ग्रहण एवं मंच से गुजरने की आज्ञा प्रदान करें। श्रीमान आज्ञा है।
Now, the national flag will be brought to the parade ground. All the dignitaries, guests, and invitees are requested to raise in their places as a mark of respect to the national flag when it passes through the parade ground, and officers in uniform will salute.
राष्ट्रीय ध्वज टोली की कमान संभालने का अवसर मिला है निरीक्षक श्री टी.के. मोहंती को एवं अकादमी ध्वज को थामे हुए हैं निरीक्षक श्री सोमेश सोमन। शपथ ग्रहण करते 67वें बैच के नवयुवा प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी। धन्य है वो माँ, वो पिता, वो गुरु, वो विद्यालय प्रांगण जिसने ऐसे सपूत और सुपुत्रियां राष्ट्र की सेवा में अर्पित किया, जिसने तन मन धन से मातृभूमि को अपनी सेवाएं प्रदान करने का संकल्प लिया। भारत की स्वतंत्रता और आत्मनिर्भरता का प्रतीक है तिरंगा झंडा। केसरिया, सफेद और हरा, इन तीन रंगों के मेल से बना तिरंगा प्रतीक है हमारी खुशहाली का, धैर्य का, शौर्य का, बलिदान का, सत्य का, शुद्धता का, विश्वास का और मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंधों का। शपथ ग्रहण का ये पावन दिन प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों के जीवन के मील का एक अहम पत्थर है, एक पुण्य पंथ है, एक अविचल पायदान है। भारतीय पुलिस सेवा में पड़ने वाले ये कदम एक नए विहान की भांति एक नई जिम्मेदारी, नए कर्तव्यों और नए उत्तरदायित्वों का अनुभव कराएगी। कठिन प्रशिक्षण के ये दिन जीवन भर याद आएंगे और आज लिया हुआ शपथ जीवन में कोई भी कार्य करने से पूर्व हमें अपने कर्तव्यों के प्रति जागरूक बनाएंगे। शपथ ग्रहण का ये पावन और ऐतिहासिक दिन, ये शपथ है तिरंगे के प्रति, ये शपथ है राष्ट्र के प्रति, ये शपथ है समाज के प्रति, ये शपथ है संस्थान के प्रति, अपने परिजनों के सम्मान के प्रति और अपने स्वाभिमान के प्रति। ये शपथ है निष्ठा का, ईमानदारी का, न्याय का और संवेदी पुलिस के रूप में एक कुशल प्रशासक का।
The ceremonial touching of the national flag by IPS officer trainees is a precursor to the oath of allegiance to the Constitution of India that the officer trainees will be taking today. They will dedicate themselves in the service of the nation and pledge to serve the people as per the ideals of the police service, ensuring justice for all without fear or favor. Ladies and gentlemen, the national flag is being carried by Inspector T.K. Mohanty and Inspector Somesh Soman is carrying the Academy's flag. Now the director will administer the oath to the IPS officer trainees.
मैं ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं भारत के संविधान के प्रति एवं भारतीय पुलिस के आदर्शों के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी। मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति न्यायपूर्वक व्यवहार करते हुए अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करूंगी।
Thank you, ma'am.
देवी और सज्जनों, राष्ट्रीय ध्वज के मैदान से वापस जाते समय राष्ट्रीय धुन बजेगी। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएंगे तथा सभी वर्दीधारी सैल्यूट करेंगे। कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा, ये जिंदगी है कौम की तो कौम पर लुटाए जा। देवी और सज्जनों, ये वही पंक्तियां हैं जो आज़ाद हिंद फौज के सैनिकों को प्रेरित करने के लिए, उनमें जोश का संचार करने के लिए गाई गई थी।
कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा, खुशी के गीत गाए जा is the regimental quick march which was initiated by Shri Subhash Chandra Bose for the Indian National Army.
बैंड की मधुर धुन पर मार्च करती हुई 67वें बैच के भारतीय पुलिस सेवा के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारियों की 6 टुकड़ियां और एक अश्वारोही दल।
best all-round IPS officer trainee. Platoon 1 consists of 25 officer trainees being commanded by Mr. M. Shri Abhinav of Tamil Nadu cadre. He is the proud winner of the IPS Association Sword of Honor for the best outdoor officer trainee.
देवी और सज्जनों, जोरदार तालियां बजाकर परेड का स्वागत करें।
Platoon 2 consists of 22 officer trainees being commanded by Shri S. Selvanagaratinam. He is the proud winner of the Jaipur Cup for PT. Platoon 3 consists of 22 officer trainees being commanded by Ms. Bhavna Gupta of West Bengal cadre. She is the proud winner of 1973 batch IPS Officers Trophy for the best all-round lady IPS officer trainee. And as you can see, the prestigious Nishan Toli is commanded by Inspector Mahesh Kumar Nitharwal, and the Nishan is being carried by Inspector T. Rajnikant Reddy. Platoon 4 consists of 22 officer trainees being led by Lieutenant Yashi Chaudan. She is the proud winner of 1958 batch IPS Officers Trophy for the best lady outdoor officer trainee.
अतिथिगण तालियां बजाते रहिए।
Platoon 5 consists of 22 officer trainees being commanded by Shri Raja Bhantia of Agmut cadre. Platoon 6 consists of 25 officer trainees being commanded by Dr. Gurkaran Singh of Madhya Pradesh cadre. As you can see, the mounted platoon consists of 10 officer trainees and is being commanded by Shri Dinesh Gupta of Nagaland cadre, who is the proud winner of Tong Cup for equitation. And as you can see, the beautiful band group of instrumentalists is led by Bandmaster B. Gopal. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful band group of instrumentalists includes NPA band, RPF brass band, CRPF group center band, KSRP band, TSSP battalion band, CRPF Biglers, NISA band, and APSP band group.
दर्शकगण तालियां बजाते रहिए। कदम से कदम तथा हाथ से हाथ मिलाकर तेज चाल में आगे बढ़ते 67वें बैच के नवयुवा प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी। राष्ट्रीय पुलिस अकादमी का मुख्य उद्देश्य भारतीय पुलिस के लिए एक ऐसा नेतृत्व प्रदान करना है जो साहस, गर्व, समर्पण और जनता के प्रति उत्कृष्ट सेवा भावना रखते हुए पुलिस बल को आगे बढ़ा सके तथा देश के उत्तरोत्तर विकास में सहायक हो सके। सप्ताह के कड़े प्रशिक्षण के पश्चात 67वें बैच के भारतीय पुलिस सेवा के परिवीक्षाधीन कड़ी खाकी वर्दी में सुसज्जित, गर्व से उठे हुए मस्तक, इससे अभिव्यक्ति मिल रही है इनकी उस मानसिक और शारीरिक शक्ति की जिसके परिवर्धन का प्रयास अकादमी प्रशिक्षण के दौरान किया जाता है। इस दृढ़ता और आत्मविश्वास के साथ परेड मैदान में कदम से कदम मिलाकर चलना मानो कह रहा हो, वो खून कहो किस मतलब का जिसमें उबाल का नाम नहीं, वो खून कहो किस मतलब का आज सके देश के काम नहीं, वो खून कहो किस मतलब का जिसमें जीवन न रवानी हो, जो परवश होकर बहता है वो खून नहीं है, पानी है, पानी है। आज की इस दीक्षांत परेड में कुल 148 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी भाग ले रहे हैं, जिसमें 28 महिला अधिकारी, 6 रॉयल भूटान पुलिस के अधिकारी, 4 मालदीव पुलिस के अधिकारी तथा 5 नेपाल पुलिस के अधिकारी शामिल हैं। आज की इस भव्य दीक्षांत परेड का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं गुजरात काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी डॉक्टर पार्थराज सिंह नवल सिंह गोहिल। तालियां बजाकर परेड कमांडर का स्वागत कीजिए। प्लाटून 1 में कुल 25 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और इसका नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं तमिलनाडु काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी श्री अभिनव। प्लाटून 2 में कुल 22 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और इसका नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं तमिलनाडु काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी श्री एस सेल्वा नागरथिनम। प्लाटून 3 में 22 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और इसका नेतृत्व कर रही हैं पश्चिम बंगाल काडर की प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी सुश्री भावना गुप्ता। निशान टोली का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं निरीक्षक श्री महेश कुमार निठारवाल और निशान को थामे हुए हैं निरीक्षक टी रजनीकांत रेड्डी। प्लाटून 4 में 22 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और इस प्लाटून की कमान संभाले हुए हैं रॉयल भूटान पुलिस की अधिकारी लेफ्टिनेंट येशी चौडेन। प्लाटून 5 में कुल 22 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और प्लाटून की कमान संभाले हुए हैं अगमुट काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी श्री राजा बांठिया। प्लाटून 6 में 25 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और प्लाटून की कमान संभाले हुए हैं मध्य प्रदेश काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी डॉक्टर गुरुकरण सिंह। अश्वारोही दल में 10 प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी हैं और इस दल का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं नागालैंड काडर के प्रशिक्षु अधिकारी श्री दिनेश गुप्ता। देवी और सज्जनों, आप लोग देख सकते हैं आपके समक्ष प्रस्तुत इस भव्य बैंड प्लाटून का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं अकादमी के उप निरीक्षक श्री बी गोपाल।
Academy's director is now requested to welcome the chief guest and present the report.
You have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you, none can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. With these words of Vivekananda, I greet the Honorable National Security Advisor, Shri Ajit Doval, esteemed former directors of the Academy. I would particularly like to thank all the former directors who have contributed to make this Academy what it is today, and especially the contribution of Shri A.A. Ali, who has made this campus what it is today. Foreign dignitaries from Bhutan and Nepal, serving and retired police officers, faculty and staff of the Academy, Parade Commander Shri Partharaj Singh Gohil, officer trainees and their proud families, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. We are privileged to have in our midst Shri Ajit Doval, an IPS officer, recipient of the Kirti Chakra, renowned for his courage and daring and inspiration to all of us. The NPA presents today 156 officer trainees, including 28 lady officers, 6 officers from the Royal Bhutan Police, 4 from the Maldives Police Service, and 5 from the Nepal Police Service, who have completed 46 weeks of the Phase 1 training. They will face a dramatically different world for the bulk of their careers than they see today. In all likelihood, during the course of their careers, India would have become one of the world's largest economies and a military superpower. The world would be looking to us for leadership. It is for such a world that the NPA needs to prepare the police officers of tomorrow. The core training and curriculum focuses on preparing the officers of tomorrow in 3 broad areas. First, the integration of theory and practice. All the classroom knowledge in the world will not work if not applied in the real world context. The trainees of this year have undergone jungle survival and operations modules with the Greyhounds of Telangana State Police, weapon training at the Central School of Weapons and Tactics, Indore, rock climbing and river rafting at the ITBP Academy, Mussoorie, security management at the by-election Tirupati, large-scale crowd management during the Kumbh Mela at Nasik, Maharashtra, and correctional administration at the Chanchalguda Jail, Hyderabad. The second area is around sensitization of the police. Tomorrow's hyper-transparent world would immediately magnify any perceived transgression of a government organization, as is being seen not only in India but the world over. In order to sensitize and orient the trainees, several intensive modules on issues such as gender, communal harmony, sectarian conflicts, marginalized communities, visibly lost children, juvenile justice, composite code, police accountability, human trafficking, and community policing were conducted. There have been visits to an orphanage, homes for the differently abled and destitute. The OTs have shown initiative in producing a street play, Awaaz, on different aspects of sexual harassment of women, which was widely acclaimed. The third area is around providing a broader exposure to the trainees and giving a context to law enforcement. Most recently, the RBI Governor, Shri Raghuram Rajan, delivered the 30th Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Memorial Lecture on reforming India's economic institutions. The wide range of speakers include Shri Lalji Singh, the head of the CCMB, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, Shri Rajiv Pratap Rudy, Shri K.T. Ramarao, political leaders, Shri Nasiruddin Shah, film and theatre personality, Shri Amish Tripathi, author, and Shri Ravish Kumar, Senior Executive Editor, NDTV. Police luminaries who interacted with the OTs include the DIB, Secretary Raw, Director CBI, DGs of CRPF, ITBP, BSF, SSB, and NDRF. During a 2-day film festival, documentaries were screened on a wide range of subjects, including handling of the Bhopal gas tragedy, human trafficking, and farmer suicides. Training programs were conducted in association with the UNADC for the police, judiciary, and prosecutors of India and SAARC countries on special investigation techniques while respecting human rights, and the rule of law in counter-terrorism cases. We must also emphasize that beyond education and training for officer trainees, the NPA also serves as a training fulcrum for mid-career officers. The mid-career training programs included Leadership and Change Management in Washington, D.C. for IGs and above, Strategy, Innovation and Management by UCL UK for DIGs and above, and Honing Skills with a Global Perspective by Charles Sturt University, Australia for SPs. The 66RR visited Israel to study internal security challenges and use of technology in crime prevention and detection of crimes. The Special Tactics Wing has introduced a course this year on counter-terrorism capabilities for SPs and DIGs of states and CAPFs, focusing on intelligence, interdiction, and investigation of counter-terrorism methods. A course on best counter-terrorism practices in community policing consultation was conducted in association with ATA of the US government. As a part of faculty development, workshops were conducted by the ISB and GIZ, a German government agency that collaborates with Government of India. Dr. Nikhil Gupta, Deputy Director, secured first place in the first National Symposium on Excellence in Training conducted by DOPT, Government of India. The NPA equestrian team participated in the 33rd All India Police Equestrian Meet held at Jaipur and bagged the championship trophy for the second consecutive year. Deputy Commandant Tejpal Dabar was adjudged the best rider of the meet. The NPA team also won a gold medal in the National Equestrian Championship in eventing held at Bangalore. The Academy also organized its first ever international conference in collaboration with Charles Sturt University of Australia for Women in Law Enforcement, which deliberated on national and international law and order issues with a special focus on developments in technology and leadership. The Academy, in collaboration with CDAC Hyderabad and the support of DAITI, Government of India, has established the NDC-RTC, the first of its kind in India, for building capacities of law enforcement agencies to take proactive measures in preventing and neutralizing threats to security. To support these training programs, the NPA has made substantial advances in its infrastructure. You will see a major infrastructure improvement today following the inauguration of the Basic Course Training Complex. The firing range and swimming pool have been modernized. 2 new synthetic basketball courts have been constructed. A new 140-room senior officers mess, library, and a 100-room IPS mess are expected to be ready shortly. Solar lighting, water harvesting, recycling, and compost plants are functioning in keeping with modern renewable energy and waste management initiatives. I recently came across the concept Ubuntu, an old African philosophy loosely translated as "you are, therefore I am." Human beings do not exist in isolation, all are interconnected. We think of ourselves far too frequently as individuals separated from one another, whereas you are connected and what you do affects the whole world. When you do well, it spreads out. It is for the whole of humanity. So officer trainees, as you march out of these portals to face fresh challenges, view yourself as a citizen of the world and contribute your might to the maintenance of peace and justice. Jai Hind.
the trophies will be awarded to the IPS officer trainees for their outstanding performance during the basic course. Dr. Parthraj Singh Gohil for the Mehta Cup for Studies. Dr. Parthraj Singh Gohil. Mr. M. Shri Abhinav for Srimati Vinodini Verma Memorial Cup for Musketry. Mr. M. Shri Abhinav. Lieutenant Yashish Jordan for the SRB Cup for Drill. Lieutenant Yashish Jordan. Shri Raja Bhantia for Shri Vijay Shankar Memorial Trophy for proficiency in the subject of Maintenance of Public Peace and Order. Shri Raja Bhantia. Miss Aparna N for the Manipur Cup for Law. Miss Aparna N. Shri Ashutosh for the Compact Trophy for Computer Studies. Shri Ashutosh. Shri S. Selvanagaratinam for the Jaipur Cup for PT. Shri S. Selvanagaratinam. Shri Dinesh Gupta for the Tom Cup for Equitation. Shri Dinesh Gupta. Lieutenant Yashish Jordan for the 1958 batch IPS Officers Trophy for the Best Lady Outdoor Probationer. Lieutenant Yashish Jordan. Ms. Bhavna Gupta for 1973 batch IPS Officers Trophy for the Best All-Round Lady IPS Probationer. Ms. Bhavna Gupta. Mr. M. Shri Abhinav for the IPS Association's Sword of Honor for the Best Outdoor Probationer. Mr. M. Shri Abhinav. Parthraj Singh Gohil for the Prime Minister's Baton and Home Ministry's Revolver for the Best All-Round IPS Professional, Dr. Parthraj Singh Noel Singh Gohil. Shri Sudipta Das for Prime Minister's Silver Cup Essay Competition 2014. Shri Sudipta Das. Thank you, sir.
पुरस्कार विजेता साधा विजेता सजा पुरस्कार विजेता सैल्यूट पुरस्कार विजेता पीछे बोल पुरस्कार विजेता मध्य से चल
Now, the Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Ajit Doval, is requested to kindly deliver his address and give his blessings to the officer trainees of 67 RR batch.
Director of National Police Academy, Chiefs of Central and State Police Organizations, former directors of the NPA, foreign dignitaries, senior officers, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, members of the media, young trainee officers, ladies and gentlemen, and children. I am most grateful to the director for giving me this opportunity to be here amidst you and to give me this great honor of being present during the 67th passing out parade of the IPS officers. My most sincere compliments to an excellent parade, to the wonderful turnout, particularly the commander, Dr. Gohil, his perfect words of command, perfect synchronization, flawless execution. But more than what it said was your body language that said that your morals are high, your visions are great, your imaginations are there, and you are prepared to work in a team together to bring glory to the service and to the nation. My compliments also to the members of the faculty who must have worked tirelessly for the last 46 weeks. And I know how difficult a task it is, the people coming from the different backgrounds, different disciplines, and along this thing in the education institutions and the work, and turning them into a uniform service is a great exercise. My special compliments to the awardees also for the excellent performance that they have shown here, and I am very sure that they will continue to excel in many and future adventures and challenges of life, whether indoor or outdoor, that they take on to. But my special compliments to the director. I had been here a few years back in 2013, and I can see the tremendous change that has been brought about by the director, Dr. Bhavgana, and how much she had been keen, that how much she could improve further the performance, the output, the contribution. And this is the biggest contribution that anybody can do, both to the service and to the nation, that you churn out the officers who are high in their professionalism, who are high in their capabilities, and who have got the training, the inputs, the skills, the knowledge to deliver the best. Well, friends, it's a very special day. It's a very special day for the nation because it is the birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, the man who was the generator of this service, who conceptualized and thought of the Indian police service the way that it exists today. It's also a great national day as 141 IPS officers, including 26 lady officers, are going to join the great Indian police service of which we all are proud and the nation is proud. It's an important day for all of you. In the life of an IPS officer, this is the most important day. The second most important day is the day that he hangs his boot and says goodbye to the service. This is the day that we are going to start your journey. You have been imparted the skills, some knowledge, some attitudes, some mindsets, which will hold you in very high esteem. It's also a very special day for your families. It's a very special day for you also to do some introspection and make some resolutions for the future. I will come on it a little later. It is an important day for me also. 47 years back, I passed out from the portals of this academy. I also passed out as one of the trainees like you. It's a great alma mater. I'm grateful to it for all that it gave me. There's a special relationship that bonds me to you. The comradeship of the service to which you and I both belong. This bond puts me also into a dilemma. I had two options. When I was traveling yesterday in the flight, after some very busy days with the summit conferences, I was wondering what is really that I should be talking to you. It could be a rarefied, esoteric, pedagogical, high-sounding talk, or I could share with you that the day when I left this academy, and now that it's about 47 years back, how do I look at it? And to share with you my perceptions. And the first thought that came to my mind was, in my entire career, how much did it matter what National Police Academy contributed? How much of the knowledge, the skills, the attitudes, what did it give me? That helped me or that confused me? And that made things easier for me or the difficult for me. And I think this is the first thought that I'm going to share with you. There are two parts of it. One was the content of the training, the hardware, your horse riding, your PT, your gymnastics, your parade, your law classes, your classes on constitution, your classes on the forensics, and everything that you are taught, indoor and outdoor. I won't tell the percentage because the whole faculty won't like it. But I tell you, it didn't work too much. But there is a second part of it. Behind every training input, there was a spirit that was never spoken but was imbibed in you. That is what helped me all through my life. If I was on the PT ground or I was running early morning and going around the Traverse Square in Mount Abu those days, It is not that physical, I got the time or I got the circumstances where I could add it to my busy schedule. But it gave me an awareness for the physical culture. How important it is in the life of a police officer to remain physically fit. If you are physically fit, then only you will remain mentally fit. Look after your health. Take care. If you really want to do the big things, the first important thing is that is you should be very, very healthy, both in your body and in your mind. Similarly, parade probably, since I didn't go much in the uniform service, didn't much help me. But the spirit behind it, that we can march together. We can work together, we can synchronize together, we can work as a team, we can lead and we can be led. It has made you the leaders. Every squad is taught not only to lead, but also to be led. You command each of the squadrons. I hope it is understood now, because that is important. You have got to be a loyal, disciplined, good, law-abiding follower, and also an outstanding leader. So it is the spirit behind it. I think another important thing it gave me was the association with a large number of friends who remained lifelong partners, helped me in my profession, helped me in my personal life, helped me during the times of distress and difficulties, emotional stresses, because they were your batchmates. They are your great treasure. Value this friendship. You will never get it that easily anywhere. But the most important thing was something else, what this institution gave me. But before I tell you that, let me tell you a small story. When Lord Buddha was on his deathbed, all his disciples, including Ananda Bhikkhu, came around his bed and he said, Master, you are going. Who is going to lead us here thereafter? Who is going to train us? Who is going to tell us what is right, what is wrong, what is the righteousness? And he gave a very profound, he called all of them and he says, my last blessing and my last command is Atma Deepo Bhava. Be your own light. I have equipped you with something that hereafter, if you decide to, you are capable of becoming your own light. The director mentioned about it. That is the most important takeaway for all of you. If you remain constantly in the state of self-training, today, from tomorrow onwards, you are both the player and your coach. You are both your trainee and your trainer. You are from a Ustad of this court to the director of the NPA, all rolled in you, if you decide to do that. But if you think that this is the time now, the training is over, it's all laurels, you can just go around and be the big man in your district, you'll be having a lot of honor, comfort, privileges and others, and sometimes some problems, but then you have just stagnated there. You are adding nothing to your physical, mental, professional capabilities. You will stagnate and you will not grow. Atma Deepo Bhava, that is the biggest takeaway of this academy. This academy has equipped and given the mindset to all of you. That is, you have become capable of training yourself and training yourself to the diverse type of challenges. Let me tell you the type of the challenges or the work that you would be doing, whether it is the policing or it is the border management or it is the insurgencies or terrorism, or you have to deal with international relations or espionage or sabotage or subversion. Probably very little of it is what, I'm just checking up the time. The very little of it that probably you already have it within the academy. Academy cannot provide it, but it has provided you the mindset. It has provided you the background. It has provided you how to train yourself. It has also provided you how do you get linked and networked. Make best use of that. There is nothing that we're going to learn from hereafter. The police officers, I think a lot of senior officers had come and talked to you. I'm happy that the DIB came, the Secretary Raw came, the DGCRP came. They must have given the perspective. See, cyber security, how complex a matter it is. The technologies, how difficult it is, they are going to become. They are spy satellites. You are the one who are going to deal with the matters of this thing. How do you deal with it? There will be counter-espionage. There will be the problems of crowd control. There will be huge managements of, say, big summits. There are 55 heads of the state in Delhi, flawless. Nobody, because it's not even in the news, people did not even know. Had there been one small miss out anywhere, and it would have become an international news. Nowhere in the summits that I have gone in last 2 years, or even before that, I had never seen such flawless policing, right from the airport, whether the aircraft security, whether it was the state, it was flawless, and all compliments to the Delhi police for that. So, I'd again like to repeat, that is the biggest takeaway. Close your eyes and think about it. That is, you have got to train and perpetually train and train yourself for the sake of this nation, for the sake of this service, and for your own self. But then there's the next question. What really are the type of challenges that you will be facing, for which you should be training yourself? I think for that, the director should call me for a talk so that I can give it to you. It will take me hours to talk about that. It's a very big inventory. That's from the community, from the policing, from the helping the poor and the destitute, to the international security problems and everything. Everything comes into it. But I'm going to tell you a few ideas. Number one, in post-war period, 37 countries have failed or have degraded themselves. Out of that, only 9 were due to external aggressions. 28 degraded themselves or became a failure because they could not manage their internal security. Whether it was Pakistan getting into the two because they could not handle the people in East Pakistan, or whether it was an East Timor, or even for that matter, even the Soviet Union's balkanization, because it's a strategic oversight made the things inside so difficult that is they could not keep the great Soviet superpower together. Internal security is the most important thing. And then another point, that from 1648, from the Treaty of Westphalia, the wars have changed their complexions. From the first generation wars of the columns and the rows to third generation wars of the blistering, we are now in the phase of fourth generation warfare. This is a very, very difficult warfare. It's a warfare against the invisible enemy. It's a warfare in which the civil society is both the battleground and the ground and the people that you have to protect. It is an enemy where a superpower like United States can get defeated in Vietnam, and the Soviets cannot achieve their strategic or political objectives in Afghanistan. Despite their force levels, despite their material resources, despite their technologies, despite everything that they had, they found that a handful of people were desperate. Because this war cannot be won by the armies. This is the war of a policeman. If you win, the country wins. If you lose, the country loses. It is not the warfare for the land, for a feature, for a terrain, for a hillock, for a land. It is the battleground, is the civil society, it's the people. If their hearts and minds are with you, you win the war. If your intelligence systems are very good, if you have awareness and the connectivity with the people are high, if you have got the skills and the knowledge, you are the master, you are the king. And that responsibility is going to lie on you. When you will be retiring probably 35, 37 years from now, this world will be an entirely new world. It will be an India which will be a global power. It will be a big and a great India which will have great economic challenges, which will have the great economic opportunities, which will have a much greater population, which will have more opportunities and more problems. It will get involved more and more in the problems of internal security. And if you are not able to manage it, everything else that is managed goes completely a waste. You cannot have a great, powerful country which cannot manage its internal security and its order well. So remember that the wars have become ineffective tools of achieving your strategic and political objectives. And there is no guarantee of its success, even against a weak enemy. It is only the policeman who can fight this battle and who can win this battle. And it is only you who can give the leadership. And in the coming years, you have to equip yourself, train yourself, Atma Deepo Bhava, become as powerful, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, as strong as you possibly can, because the battle is very, very tough. The second point is, where you have to excel yourself, is that you have to master the technologies. The biggest challenge will be now, that is if you have to fight and win this fourth generation of the futuristic warfare, whether it's against the organized crime or the terrorists or the insurgents or the saboteurs or the espionage or anybody else, or the foreign powers trying to meddle into your internal affairs, you have got to be the master of technology. From normal policing to crime detection and organized crimes to management of borders or complicated this thing like the cyber security or the banking frauds or the big these things, it's done a large number of it. That is, you have got to get the domain in the profession knowledge, which is in the realm of technology. Yeah, also about your weapons, about your equipment, communications, that probably you have to equip your staff with. It is important that is you acquire a lot of knowledge about the technology. But the third and the last, you will have to acquire skills, knowledge, capabilities, software, and the hardware of managing the conflicts. In your career, there is no other career in this country at least, and probably all over the world, where there is conflict of interest more than in the police service. I remember it that after 9/11 in the United States on 20th of September, when President Bush was addressing the parliament, he made a very, very important statement. He said America values its freedoms and liberties, but United States also highly values the supreme interests of the state. Should there be a conflict between the two, the latter will prevail. Remember, this is the everyday conflict for you. There is a conflict of values. There is this thing of expediency. There is something that the law wants. There is something that somebody else wants, who is important in the hierarchy. There is a conflict of interest because you have got a family life and you have got a communal riot going on there. Or that you are very tired and you have got temperature and there is something there has been a terrorist attack that you have to do. There is a conflict that even law and natural justice, you find that the person has done certain thing, though technically it is not the law, but the natural justice says that, well, he has been a man who has suffered a lot, you would like to help him. There is also the conflict when the reality is this, that you have been giving your best, you have been exercising a lot of constraint, and the perceptions which are made about you, about the police, about you as an individual, as a superintendent of police office of a district or others, by the media, by the NGOs, by the thinkers and others, which is totally contrary. And people tend to believe it more, including at times the political masters. How will you manage these conflicts? And I think shows that, well, my time is probably stopped, but it doesn't matter, I'll talk for take a couple of more minutes. This management of conflicts will require a lot of skills, but there is one thing I will tell you, because I don't have much time, otherwise I would have shared more thoughts. Brand yourself. What happens if an officer is totally honest, very, very scrupulous, but somebody just insinuates because he is so strict, that is, he will transfer a corrupt officer from one place to the another, and he gets 10 petitions written against you that this officer is highly corrupt, and he had asked me for some illegal gratification, I refused to give, and that's why I have been punished. And then he will get the caste factor, the communal factor, this factor, that factor, to make it believed to be true. Build your brand. One of the best things that happened to me in my life when I was very young at that time, almost your age, when I went as an ASP to the district in Kerala. There was a DIG from the Travancore Police who was my first DIG. He asked me, how do you feel coming from UP to Kerala? I said, I feel very happy. I wanted to see the whole of India. I have never been to Kerala before, so I said, by nature, I like to see the new things, experiment with new things. But he told me one thing. He said, it's a very good state. I'm a state police officer, from the Princely state. And people thought that I was, people didn't believe that the police was very honest. But after the merger, I was given the IPS. Now here nobody thinks that an IPS officer can be corrupt. He can be indiscreet, he can be a little impetuous, he can take a decision without knowing the whole thing, or the subordinates can mislead me time at time, particularly when you are young and people this thing. But he will never do anything for personal gratification. He is not only honest, he is incorruptible. That was the service brand. Then there were a brand of individual officers for their courage. There are officers with a brand for their bravery, for their brilliance, for their hard work, for their knowledge of law. Everybody has got his own brand. And this brand is, we have got a brand. What exactly, why are you wearing this uniform? This gives you a brand that you belong to a disciplined service. But what you put IPS here, it is because you distinguish yourself that this is my brand, I am an IPS officer. I've got both the brain and the brawn. That is a brand. But if you can live up to that brand, if you can bring glory to this brand, you will find many of the pressures, many of the conflicts that come, they will go. No corrupt will approach you. If they think that you are a very decisive person, your deterrence will be high. People will be afraid of your name. You go to a district and the organized criminals, the people who could keep somebody on the payrolls and others, they know that their days are over. Build their brand for your professionalism, for your competence, for your knowledge, for your integrity, for your vision, for your leadership. What is your brand amongst your subordinates, amongst your followers? Do they think that if the problem comes, this man will quit? Or do they think that if the problem comes, you will say, all of you are out, now it's my turn to play. Now I am here and nobody else is here. You do it once, you do it twice, you are branded. Thereafter people will give their lives for you. So build your brand. That is not 100% solution, but it does give a very large thing. You get into the conflicts because you have been doing something and then you are denying something else. You have been accepting some sort of a pressure and then denying the thing. You are giving some favorite postings, you are giving some doing some favors, or because of the fear or because of the favor, you are doing it, you are selectively using this thing of law, the power of law, and thereafter you find that you have got into this thing. And let me tell you one thing. I was singing the yesterday's song and then I asked the director to write and give it to me. I was thinking, what exactly is this song giving you? Whosoever composed it, I am not poet, so I don't want to talk about his composition, this thing. But the idea was very good. He says, लोहे जैसी हिम्मत है, लोहे सा जज्बा अपना, आंखों में लिए चलते हैं, लौह पुरुष का सपना. This is a brand. This is the brand of an IPS officer. This is the brand with which you will live. This is the brand which you will bequeath to your coming generations. This is a brand when you will stand and they will say, he is an IPS officer. He has brought the pride not only to the service, but to the nation. Be one amongst them. I don't have much words because I think normally the ceremonial parades are not the time to speak and give long lectures, because I know that it's a scorching sun and you would all be waiting for me to close it. But just few very honest, sincere words. It's a great service. You are entering into a great future ahead. Tomorrow morning when you stand before a mirror and look into your eyes, tell yourself, what is my brand? Think of you, what would you like people to think of you, your subordinates to think of you, the areas that you serve to think of you, the district where you work to think of you, the organizations that you serve to think of you. And if the last day when you do the shave and go, for giving your baton and hanging your shoes, and to hand over and demit the office, and again stand up and say, I have lived up to that vision, the life of success. All the best to you, my blessings.
Thank you, sir.
परेड समाप्त हुई। परेड को निष्क्रमण करने की आज्ञा प्रदान करें श्रीमान।
दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि निशान के सम्मान में अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं तथा सभी वर्दीधारी सैल्यूट करें।
Ladies and gentlemen, the peeling off has started. These 148 young officers are about to take their first step in the service of the nation. Coming in front of you, from left to right, are
मोहम्मद सुजीता सलमान, निधि द्विवेदी, शुटर विजी,
Nitika Gehlot, Sujata Kumari,
ईरानी, साक्षी वर्मा, मोनिका सेन, वाहिनी सिंह,
रामेश्वर द्वाती, हुसैन अली, मोहम्मद फजनीन लतीफ,
जयंत सिंह, मीनाक्षी गुप्ता, वृंदा शुक्ला,
अपूर्वा राव, सौम्या मिश्रा, किरण नारायणन,
कृष्णाराव बुडेपल्ली, रईस अख्तर, जी पुंगुर अली,
प्रशांत वर्मा, इलांगो आर, विक्रांत वीर,
प्रहलाद कर्की, किन्ने तेंजिन, मोहम्मद फसील,
वीरा वेंकट राकेश रेड्डी, उत्कृष्ट प्रसून, अमन कुमार,
प्रभात कुमार, अनूप सिंह, बिशॉप सरकार,
धृत्युमन सरकार, हरिकृष्णा पाई, गौरव बंसवाल,
अंकित मित्तल, शिवप्रकाश देवराजू, विक्रम सिंह,
तेजस्विनी गौतम, एम दीपिका, अपर्णा नटराजन,
राहुल अरवाल, अक्षय राज मकवाना, मंजुनाथ टीसी,
निशा एनएस, शशांक जायसवाल, दिनेश गुप्ता,
संदीप चक्रवर्ती, सुनील दत्त, आशुतोष शेखर,
पुष्पराज सिंह, दीपक कुमार शुक्ला, धर्मेंद्र शर्मा,
केजांग शोडेन, अजय कुमार बंसल, सच्चा दोरजी,
अंशु शुक्ला, राजेश कुमार, राजीव कुमार,
पूजा यादव, विकास कुमार शाहवाल, प्रदीप गुमती,
मनीलाल पटीदार, रवली प्रिया, सिंधु शर्मा,
लोहित मतानी, पटेल दिव्यांग कुमार, कार्तिकेय शर्मा,
अमित गोयल, प्रिया मुद्रा रॉय, अरुण के,
मोनिका बी, सायक दास, जयदेव जी,
हरिनंदन चौधरी, नसरीम जमशो, अनिल कुमार किमरे,
प्रदीप शर्मा, आदित्य आर, गौरव तूरा,
विवेकानंद शर्मा, लोकेंद्र सिंह,
साई कृष्ण थोटा, अनुराग सुजानिया, आशुतोष,
नीलोक पाल, विशाल आनंद, अभिनंदन,
शाह मोहम्मद, चारू निगम,
पीयूष पांडे, सचिन शर्मा,
खारत संजय, किरण कुमार, विपिन कुमार जैन,
वेंकटेश डॉट्रे, डीएम लक्ष्मी प्रसाद, संजीव बाबू खड़का,
निमित गोयल, युवराज, कुशाल पाल सिंह,
संतोष कुमार, जयंत मीना, विनीत जायसवाल,
हरीश कुमार, ओम प्रकाश, प्रवीण प्रकाश, अमित बरदार,
शलभ कुमार सिन्हा, सचिन गुप्ता, अमृतपाल सिंह,
प्रतीक सिंह, निशांत कृष्णा, विशाल,
रवि मोहन सैनी, लक्ष्मण निम्बार्गी, अक्षय शिंदे,
अमनदीप, हेमंत तिवारी, दयाशंकर,
आशीष रावत, चंद्रमोहन सिंह, कार्तिकेयन गोकुलचंद्रन,
मुकेश कुमार भामू, साई चरण तेजस्वी, अनिल कुमार बेनीवाल,
वरुण शर्मा, रोहित नाथन, नागेंद्र सिंह,
दीपक पारिक, निखिल पिंगले, मोहित कुमार गर्ग,
गौरव अभिजीत दिलीप, गोयल हर्षल नारायण राव, सचिन शर्मा,
मयूर पाटिल, संजीव सुमन, धर्मेंद्र सिंह,
राहुल हेगे, कामनाशीष सेन, श्लोक कुमार,
एम श्री अभिनव, एस सेल्वनागिरथिनम, भावना गुप्ता,
यशीश ओडेन, राजा भट्टिया, गुरकरण सिंह,
and here comes the parade commander, Dr. Parthraj Singh, Naval Singh Gohit.
We, Archana Pandey and Sub-Inspector Ashwini, thank you all for being a part of this historical parade. Jai Hind.
आज की इस ऐतिहासिक दीक्षांत परेड का साक्षी बनने के लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद। दो पंक्तियों के साथ हम भारतीय पुलिस सेवा के नवयुवा अधिकारियों को शुभकामनाएं देते हैं। सेनानी करो प्रयाण अभय, सारा आकाश तुम्हारा है, ये नखत अमन के बुझते हैं, भावी इतिहास तुम्हारा है। आप सभी को अर्चना पांडे का नमस्कार। अतिथियों, आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि अपने स्थान पर बैठे रहें। मुख्य अतिथि के प्रस्थान के पश्चात हम लोग परेड मैदान से विदा होंगे। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है, कृपया अपने अपने स्थान पर बैठे रहिए। मुख्य अतिथि के प्रस्थान के पश्चात हम लोग मैदान से विदा होंगे।